Hi, I'd like to welcome you to creating videos for your online classes. My name is Glumace. I'm an instructor in digital media down at Glumace College in Huntington Beach. And I think we have better weather up here than we even have down there, so it's been real nice up here. Anyway, everyone's in the right place, right? Video, creating stuff. How many of you, first of all, do create videos for your classes? All right. So we got about a third of you in here. And I know we've talked about online, but I'm a big proponent of also doing it for your on-ground classes. And I'm going to kind of go back and forth because I teach not only on-ground, but I teach the same exact classes online. And a lot of the things that I do, I don't like doing twice. And so if I record something on Monday night, it's going to cover me for the next week in my online classes. And we only have about 45 minutes in here, so as much as I would love to walk you through every little detail, how to get things running, how to get things, all that, I just don't have the time. So what I've done instead is, I had a handout, but I didn't know how many were coming, so I put it all on my website. It'll probably be much easier for you anyway to go there. My last name, Glumace.com, that's all you need to go to. It's right on the home page here. I'll leave it up here for a few weeks. Well, school doesn't start for a few more weeks, so the new things won't pop up yet. And this will be my guide, too, in here to go over what all the little things we're going to talk about today. My email's on there as well, both my school and my home. I answer my email all the time. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Please don't ever call me. I might give you business cards. You call me, I may never ever call you back. Email's the best way to get a hold of me. Also Google, all the social media as well. Get out there. We're going to talk a little bit about social media. Because one of the things that I push for instructors is, yes, you're creating content for your classroom, but you're also creating content that promotes yourself. The more you get stuff out there, the more your reputation starts to build. And I've got a lot of video. I'm going to show you what I have out there. I've been doing it for 10 years now. My Vimeo account's around 180 classes on there. My YouTube account's huge. I was one of the first iTunes U for community colleges at Glumace. We don't use it anymore, which kills me every day. And we had a huge site, kind of all got shut down. We haven't been using it. That's another option out there too I'm going to throw at you. So it's a lot of information I'm going to throw out there right now. It's all here. All the links are here as well. And let's see a good place to start. Like I said, the big thing is start creating. Just start creating. The biggest hurdle that I find with educators is I have to either make it perfect or it has to be right the first time. It needs to look professional. It doesn't. Trust me, the students don't know the difference starting off. And a lot of you are teaching classes like IT. I'm digital arts, digital media, so I teach Photoshop, Illustrator, I teach web design. I also teach coding as well. Just getting the information out there for the student to walk away with will make your life so much easier down the road. What I found is once I started recording my web classes, the amount of, can you come and help me, dropped almost zero in my classroom. I usually lecture for an hour and a half. I do a 4-hour class 1 day a week. So it's a 2-2. 2-hour lecture, 2-hour lab in the classroom, just like a room like this. So I'll lecture for about an hour, hour and a half. And I tell my students, sorry, you're going to have to listen to me. If you got to go to the restroom, just get up and go. I'm going to just tear through an hour, hour and a half. Hold your questions till I'm done, unless it's something real important like, hey, my computer blew up, those types. I go through and do my recording. I record every single lecture that I do. Doesn't matter what class I'm doing. Even when I sub for other classes, I record every single thing that I do, and it goes up right away that day or that night or sometime during that week. What that does for the student in the classroom is, if they get lost, and trust me, they get lost. I teach web design. It's like math. If the equation's not right, what you get at the end is not right. I have 3 types of students, and most of you are going to know it's pretty much across the board in community colleges. You have that third of students who are, they're there to learn, they're go-getters, they can sit there and take notes, look at their stuff, work along with me at the same time, and get it all. Then I get the older students and the students who just don't get it right off the bat. And then you get the students, I don't know where they came from. They're there to take units. And what I struggled with before I started doing videos was I spent a ton of time on those 2/3. The go-getters, they find the answers for themselves. They go on Google. They search it out. This doesn't work. Why doesn't this work? Those type of things. But I had to walk around the classroom, sit with each of them. And I only have a 2-hour lab. And that, as you know, it just eats into your time. Once I started doing the videos, those students, all 3 groups, really stopped asking those smaller questions. Like, how do I right-click? Or, you know, the stuff they're like, well, you should have learned that a while back. You know, this is an advanced class. Don't ask me how to turn the computer on. What it does is it gives them confidence in knowing they have the information to go back and watch over and over and over again. They need the repetition. When I teach Photoshop, I'll go through all the steps. And I have to go through, you know, no shortcut keys. You got to go through every menu. It's there for them. And so from day one, I push into them. I go, I'm giving you the information. I can only cover it once in the class. We need to move on. But it's always going to be there for you to come back and use over and over and over again. And my previous semesters, when I start a semester, I go back. And let me pull this up real quick. Sorry, I'll be showing on the websites here in a minute. I say go into my teaching and videos, find the class. I'll just use Glumace today. I also teach at Concordia University. I teach the senior level classes there in web design. And I'm also at IVC, Irvine Valley College. I actually teach completely online for them. And so my video stuff makes my life much easier. Now I took a bunch down, but I go all the way back to spring 2011 for all my classes. So I tell students, first day of school, go back last semester, watch all my stuff, catch up. The information's already there. It's out there for you to get started with. The other thing that I do is all my stuff's open to the public. I can care less who watches my stuff, who uses it. I want outside people to do it, and we're going to talk a little bit about YouTube and Vimeo today as well, and getting that information out there in the hands of really my non-registered students. And I get the argument on the other side is, well, they'll never come sign up for your class. Those people probably would never sign up anyway if they're just looking for information. But it's a good selling point. This goes back to selling yourself as an instructor online. You can go, hey, there's my stuff. Go watch me. Listen to me. See what I do in the classroom. Maybe it's the right class for you. Maybe it's not. The student can make a decision when they're trying to sign up for your classes as well. My department, right now we have about a third of us we have about 14 instructors total. About a third of them do this in some form or another. I have some instructors who record their lessons beforehand. I have one instructor who has Parkinson's. What he does is he actually records his lessons at home. He plays them in class and he goes around and helps people. It's easier for him to sit down and do a 45-minute lecture at home under controlled circumstances. And then he's able just to go and sit with the students in the classroom while he's playing and help them in the classroom. He's actually moving completely on, or half his load is going to be going online now too. And he's able to keep doing it because of the videos. I have other instructors who actually break down and do lessons, very specific small lessons, 2 to 3 to 5 minute videos, and they use that to supplement what they do in the classroom. And the other thing we try to do at our campus is if you teach Adobe Illustrator on ground, you teach the exact same class online. So we're able to utilize the videos and everything else that's created in the classroom for the online students as well. So we try to give the same experience for the on-ground and the online. The only thing is the questions and the helping is a little tougher on the online side of it. So we got a lot of stuff up here. Go take a look. Here's my fall. It just finished up. I think I got 16 weeks in here. So every week I record Monday night, goes up Tuesday morning for my online class. I try to keep everything the same. So how do I create all this stuff? Before I get into that, closed captioning, we got to talk about that. The giant monster in the room. Talk to your disabled student services or your ACE or whatever they call it department on your campus. It really varies. At all 3 schools I work at, I have completely different rules at the school. Now, I'm not talking about the federal rules. It's what they interpret it to be. So at Golden West, there's only 3 people who work in our disabled student services. So let's just say unless there's a problem, they kind of ignore it. And what I've done is YouTube's been our savior with the automatic closed caption. Problem with that is if you have an accent or you don't speak real loud, it doesn't do that great of a job with the transcriptions. Mine are pretty good. I would say 90% of mine are okay to usable. And they're more than happy with that. They've never had a complaint with any of my students. And we have a large population of deaf students on our campus because we teach sign language. I'm sorry? Do you use a microphone? No. Actually, in the classroom, in this case, we have a mic hooked up. For those of you who have Mac labs, you're real lucky. All the iMacs work great without anything. You just turn them on and go. They have the microphone right here on the top. If not, you got to get a microphone. And you got the Bluetooth headsets. I have one instructor who wears his Bluetooth headset from his phone, and he uses it on his PC. Or you can go out and buy some real nice ones as well. Question?
Maybe I use voice recognition to convert mine to closed caption, about 99% accurate, but make it quick and easy.
Yeah.
it differs on where they want to put the video. Not always they want to put it on YouTube.
Hey, yeah, and that gets into a whole other little monster.
I use that to get from the 90% of the text and then just the content.
And that gets into a whole other side of it, is matching up your time code to your video and stuff. I usually say do the YouTube. That's usually the quickest and easiest, especially for a lot of you who don't know how to do time code or match up all those things. But talk to your disabled student services, because they do have other resources as well. Hopefully they have grant funding, or they have funding that's at the campus to do it. And we're going to talk about one other option here in a few minutes as well on that. But closed captioning, you've got to do it. At least YouTube is really trying. And it also will translate in other languages. It'll take the transcription and translate in other languages for you. So it opens up a lot of opportunities for outside students as well as the students that you have in the classroom and online. So closed captioning, and that was, actually I'm sorry, the 3C Media Solutions, which is part of the, yes. And we're going to talk about this for uploading and hosting as well. They have grant money, they do closed captioning, there's options and opportunities there as well. But work with your ACE or Disabled Student Services departments, talk to them. We haven't had too many problems on our campus with the way we've been doing it, but at IVC, Irvine Valley, they weren't too hip on me doing it this way, but we've been okay for the moment. And at Concordia, they're a private university, they were okay with me doing it through YouTube as well. So it's usually when a problem comes up, that's when we have to deal with those things. So software. Like I said, I really wish I could sit down and go through and show how I capture and everything. We just don't really have the time in here. I wanted to go through some of the options that we have. And I know we probably don't have the plugin installed for Google Hangouts, which is just a little download that you have to do. But what I've been doing with most of my instructors who are non-Mac based, and they're not that tech savvy, they know how to use everything, but they're like, well, what do I do to record? I go, okay, Google Hangouts is going to be your best option. And with Google Hangouts, what's great about it is you can just have yourself in there. You log in. I suggest getting a Google account no matter what at this point. If you don't have one, you got to have one for a lot of the tools that are out there. And I wish I can click through, but like I said, I know that it's not set up completely 100% here. But with Google Hangouts, you go in, click share your screen, hit record, and everything starts recording. Audio, whatever's on your screen. And what's nice about it is it will broadcast in high def, and it will save directly to YouTube. So the moment you're done recording, renders out to YouTube, it's ready in your YouTube account. So it's the cheapest, the fastest way. The downside to it is you have to have an internet connection. So let's say you're somewhere you don't really have internet and you want to just do some quick little how-tos and tutorial videos, it's not going to help you on that end of the world. So it's great for a classroom environment, or if you're at home, you have it, go in, play with it. Try it out. Go in. If you have your Gmail account and you have it open in the bottom left-hand corner, you have your Google Hangouts. You click on it, and you'll start it. And I put a link in here as well. It's actually called On Air, and you could broadcast live. So kind of what we're doing today, I could go in and start a broadcast and go live through my Google channel with what we're doing in the classroom today. So you can even do that live in the classroom. So if you have students who can't make it, you could do a Google Hangout, and they can log in and watch it. And so that's for your on-ground classes. Now for the online classes, you can even do live ones and use this as well in the class, for your class to do live chats and everything, have the students come in real time, and they can interact with it as well. So it's a great tool for collaboration. It's free, it's cheap, everyone should have it. How many of the schools that you work at are using Google as your, I want to say your cloud environment now? All of our students at our school they took all of them and put them all in Google. But we're all still on Microsoft, though, for the staff. So,
Google Plus is a separate application, and they don't like
okay, yeah. So some of them do, some don't. We do on our campus with ours. We opened everything up for all the students. So there's some limitations on that. Most have their own accounts, though, too. And so I usually push my students, if I'm going to do something like this, so just log in with your Gmail, you'll get the invitation and go in. So it's a great tool, it's free, it's out there, it's evolving, it's getting better as well. And also too, it leads into YouTube with your video editing, because you can edit live in YouTube as well once you have your video up. And that kind of gets to our editing part in a little while. But the live streaming, I've actually used this for my classes, my online class at IVC. We've done some stuff using this. And it takes the, I don't know how many of you use the newest Blackboard or how your infrastructure is, but I will say this, in our district, it's not very good. We can't even upload a PSD file into our Blackboard. It'll bring the whole thing to its knees. So for what I'm doing, we moved completely off our Blackboard system. It's really just a place for our students to log into, do their tests, but almost all of our media, everything else, every instructor has to host their own stuff. There is no unified system in our district for that. So Google becomes a big one for all of our instructors. We even did this in our classroom now. We used to have file servers, shared server environment for our Mac labs, because we have about 140 Macs in 4 labs. And we just dropped the entire server system and went completely Google Drive. And that's how our instructors push all their information now. So that's, in terms of other things out there, it's great. And we're going to talk about that too for delivering, let me jump backwards here, the raw files. Because I actually give all the raw files to my students as well. They can download the 400 meg .mov files if they really want to. And I use Google Drive for that. So they can download the originals. And because of what I teach, I have to give original files too, sample files and everything else. Blackboard is not the greatest environment for that either. You know, trying to upload 100 megs worth of Photoshop and EPS files and stuff for students through that just doesn't work. So Google Drive is where we do that now on our campus as well. So Google Hangouts on air, go take a look at this. That's why I threw the links up here. Camtasia, how many of you use it, or at least a version of it? So the majority of you are using it in some form or another. I'm not a huge fan of it personally, but it's pretty much the industry standard. For most schools have it, or they have some version of it. It's both Mac and PC. It's about $100. I think they do have a educator's discount on this as well. It also is an editor. It's a built-in editor after capturing. And it does multiple formats. And that's one thing you're going to run into as well as formats. With the Google Hangouts, it's pretty easy. There's no formats involved. It just happens. But once you start getting into Camtasia and some of these other products I'm going to talk about, you need to export out a format. Stay away from Flash. I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't work on your iOS devices, so just don't even play with it. But Camtasia exports out as an MOV. I think it does uploading directly to YouTube and other services as well. So a lot of this software, too, does automatic uploading. I like to record, render, and then I take care of all my uploading and where I want to put it. And then that way, too, I have a record of all my video. It gets big. Go out and buy a 4 terabyte drive, because eventually you will start filling up what you will go through storage. But keeping all that, you'll have all of your stuff forever. You'll have all your lectures. And when I get students to come and go, I need help with this, guess what I do? I'll go, hey, go watch week 13 around 5 minutes in. It's all there for you. So it keeps, once again, it goes back to me not having to spend tons of time writing emails, going into discussion forums. I want them to go find the answers. I have the answers for them. I just don't like giving it to them. I want them to go in and find it. It's there. So Camtasia, like I said, personally, I don't use it at all. We used to use it at Golden West. We had a lot of instructors using it. We had it in all of the lecture halls. And so that was, we had some instructors using it for audio only. That was a whole other story I won't get into. We had our geology department wouldn't record anything on screen, only audio, because they didn't want their slideshows out there. But that's, I have a whole different philosophy on that. So, and one other thing about that too, I know this does come up, depending on the school that you teach at, who owns the rights to stuff. At our campus, we own the rights to everything that we do. And for me, I just put, like I said, I put it all out there. Earlier, it's just everything, because what I do too, my classes, especially my web design classes, are much different semester to semester. Things evolve, things change. So this coming semester with the changes in Dreamweaver CC, it's going to be a whole different class than I taught 2 semesters ago. Completely different class. And so doing one set of videos, I hate doing this, and then having to redo them all again every year, it's just easier for me to record what's going on in class and then get the information out there. And I am working on, I have a new textbook that's coming out, and that's what happened to me. I did it in CS6. CC came out. I had to redo about 95% of all my online videos for the class. And luckily, my publisher was very nice and didn't set my publishing date, which is technically should have been this month, or now 6 months off again. And hopefully that doesn't change much. But a lot of you, especially in the IT fields, things change. They change quickly. My CSS class changes almost all the time. Something new rolls along, I got to add it in. iShowU HD. Now, I am a Mac guy. I used to fix the PCs though as well, but our labs at our campus were all Macintosh across the board, and probably the best piece of software out there is called iShowU HD Pro. And for novice users, you just hit go and you're done, and it does everything for you. Now for power users, like what I want to do, it actually will render out ProRes for Final Cut. It will do broadcast quality captures, including audio, multi-tracked audio as well. So if you're doing stuff where you're going to be doing like television or really high-end, this is the piece of software you want. Camtasia can't do it. This does everything. It will do following, it will do picture-in-picture. It's actually the cheapest of all the ones out there too. I think it's, how much was it? I think it's $59. And it's not one of those every year you pay $59. You just buy it and they put out updates. They've been really good about it. They have an iShowU HD standard version. I don't know why you'd ever want to buy that, but the HD is what they have, and they also have a studio now too, a video editing studio that goes along with it. And if I was going to show you something today, it probably would have been in this piece of software. I just can't plug in my Mac right now for this. They don't make a PC version. I'm really sorry about that. But it is only Mac. What I love about this, no render time. I'll do a 2-hour video in ProRes, 30-second render for 2 hours. And for those of you who don't know what that means, a lot of other software you'll record, it has to sit there and churn on it at the end of the day. So if you're in a classroom environment and you're rendering and it's like a 2-hour render because you did a 2-hour video, luckily at my campus I can lock the door and come back the next morning because I'm there all day. But if you're at another school or you're working multiple schools, it's probably not the best environment. So this is the one that I push. It's installed on all of our computers, on our campus for all of the instructor stations. So if we jump classrooms, you just go in, click on it, and you're ready to roll. And I'll be very honest, I haven't found a really good PC version of this. It just doesn't exist. I wish it did, because I'd show it to you. There's a lot of things that are halfway there, just not the complete package. And I have one I'm going to show you too that was actually built on Camtasia, and it is free. So iShowU HD Pro, this is what all my videos are shot in, everything I do. It's quick, it's easy. I have a 7-year-old MacBook, and it runs perfect, and I do all my videos on it still. And it renders out no problem. So it runs even old equipment too that's out there. And for some of us, we got old equipment in the classrooms, I know. So it does work across the board.
From the student perspective, any issues in terms of what they're doing from their end with the different?
No, in the end, it's usually the same in terms of quality. It gets knocked down, so it's high def. But once I start uploading it, YouTube compresses, Vimeo does stuff to it. No problems on it. But if it is high def, and we're going to talk about that in a second once the student starts viewing, especially on other devices. Yeah. I'm not talking about PCs. I'm talking about on their big screens at home, because I have students who use that in tandem with their laptop. So I'm trying to capture as much information as I possibly can. A 2-hour lecture for me is usually around 600 megs once it's done and compressed. Not always the smallest file on the planet, but I've got everything I need, and I could do things with it later on. The other one, Snaps Pro, I've used this for years. The only problem with it is render times are horrendous. You do a half-hour video, half-hour render time. And that killed it in the classroom. We used it though until iShowU HD came along, and it's actually more expensive too. But I wanted to throw it out there. It runs on really old Macs, but once again, I don't have a PC version of it. It's Mac only. Now, the other one that may come up for a lot of you, Mac or PC or online, is Screencast-O-Matic. It's actually based on the old Camtasia software. And you can do it online, so you can just start recording if you want to, or create an account and start recording, or they have a downloaded version both for the Mac and the PC. Only problem is AVI files. Question?
Yeah, I use Screencast because it's Java-based, so you run on any machine anywhere in the world, and it uploads to the website. For $50, you get the pro version, you can take editing, offloading, multi-storage.
This is probably the cheapest, most wide-ranging one out there. I've had some issues with the AVI files, so that it outputs with the codec. Yeah, and the MOVs too, something was a little up. So that more or less is from a pro standpoint. I was importing to Final Cut and things went wrong. So, But from what you're doing, you can upload them right to YouTube. I think it uploads automatically too as well. So most of the software will upload to your accounts automatically. I think even Facebook and things like that as well. But this is the one that I would probably push a lot of you towards. It's free, or you pay for the pro version. It's good to get in, and like I said at the beginning, start doing things. All this stuff's great. You know, I can throw all this software out there, all these things. Just sit down and create a video. If you're teaching online, do your welcome video. That's the first thing I always tell people. Do the welcome video. That first video, how to use Blackboard. You can show them where to go over your syllabus, or even if it's just using your webcam and saying, hello, this is who I am, this is our class. Read the syllabus to them and go through it. So then at least there's a personal touch there as well. You know, it could be the lighting's bad, you're all orange in your video. Trust me, the student, it's still more than they're going to get if you just throw up the syllabus and do nothing else. It's that first step. The next video you do, hopefully, is better. You just keep moving on from there. And it's getting over that fear of, okay, I got to do it. Just get it done, get it up. May not be the greatest thing in the world, but the students will appreciate it and it will make your life easier. And just like anything else in the world, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And you're going to start finding all the little things, how your system is set up. That's the hardest thing, especially with the different PCs. The Macs are a little easier, but it's how the system's set up, what OS you're running, do you have a camera, do you have the microphone, just finding out those little things. And then once you're comfortable with it, just pumping out that work. You know, just going over, if you're doing modules in Blackboard, create a video for each module, an introduction. So instead of them reading, go over the project, show them samples, do the screen capture. And that's the great thing about all these is you're capturing what's on screen already. And I find with Blackboard, students get lost. As much as we try to organize it, they still don't know where to look. And I'm going to show you my Blackboard in a second. I got the simplest Blackboard in the world now. Everything's on the homepage. I stopped doing modules. People just could not, students could not find what I wanted them to do. So every week I just bring it up. All right. So hosting. How are we doing on time? So we have about half an hour. Okay. So let me show you, backing up here. Oh, okay. I'll log into my Blackboard. I live in the world of Blackboard. Oh, that's not good. Okay. So let's pull up last. I'll show you my online class. So like I said, I keep my Blackboard very simple. I'm going through an online program for one of my degrees right now, and I'm all Blackboard, and they do all the modules and all the assignments and everything else. And I'll be honest, I get lost in those. I can't find what I'm supposed to do. And there are other tools in here without going through all the Blackboard stuff that remind you and everything. But what I found after, and we started on Vista before it was Blackboard. I learned Vista first and then moved over to Blackboard. Our district kind of did that transition. And so what I do, this is just my, hey, something's going on today, and I love the announcements as well with the videos. I send out announcements the moment the videos are up. Go watch the videos, they're there. And that's all I'll send, one sentence. It's all up there. But I keep everything on the homepage here. This is really what we're talking about, is my weekly lectures. They're right on the homepage, all in order. I don't even try to organize them anymore. There is absolutely no excuse for a student to say, I didn't see that video. All 16 weeks are right in a row. And if you'll notice, I use Vimeo actually, and there's a couple reasons for that. I used to use YouTube, and back when I was using YouTube, they didn't have all the high def stuff. And that's how far back I go. Vimeo has always been high def from pretty much day one. And so I like the Vimeo only because it runs a little bit better on your Xboxes and all of that. And the reason I bring this up is I didn't realize what was going on until about 3 years in. Students were telling me, oh, I watch your videos and I work on my laptop. And I go, how do you do that? You know, your screen's like tiny. They go, no, I don't watch the videos on my laptop. I pull them up on my Blu-ray player or on my Wii or on my Xbox, and I watch them on my big TV. And then I can work along with you at home. So I realized that, and I went and tried it at home with some of my early YouTube videos, and it wasn't even worth watching. the resolution was just a mess. And mind you, this is a few years back. It's gotten much better now. The stuff looks better. So the other thing was, too, YouTube used to put a cap on you, on how much you can upload. That cap's gone now, once you're registered and stuff in there. And at the time, my videos were long, 2 hours, 600 megs. I couldn't upload them. I couldn't put them on YouTube. So what I ended up doing was Vimeo has unlimited uploading and stuff for $40 a year. And so a lot of my stuff lives on Vimeo. The downside to Vimeo, no closed captioning. They don't do the automatic closed captioning. So I do both now. I always upload to both. I'm still kind of stuck in I use my Vimeo to embed here. So if I ever have a student come on and go, I need closed captioning, I'll just say, go to YouTube. Everything's there for you as well. So this is how I put everything up. So what we do is after we record, I'm not going to go through all these steps here just for time, but I really wrote out what you want to do on YouTube. It is pretty much the #1 choice out there. And there's another side to this that you may not hear a lot in these classes if you go to other ones. Like I said, it's about promoting yourself as well. I'm shameless when it comes to that. But that's how we all work. That's how we get other jobs. That's how it happens. Those videos that you put on YouTube, if you tag them correctly with the correct titles, descriptions, everything else, guess what happens to your SEO for yourself? You start showing up higher and higher when people type in your name in Google. And that's what I want. And I'm a little lucky on this. I'm one of like 4 people with my last name in the world. So if you type in my last name, oops, I don't want to go there. My son, me, my cousin. You type my last name, look, it's all me. I got 10,000 results. Trust me, all 10,000 of them are me. But if I type in my full name, well, right here, my YouTube account, it comes up. So this is my YouTube, my recent uploads. This was my test one for the Google Hangout. Let me show that to you real quick. I was playing with this last night. So there's Google Hangouts video. You can see it was, I don't have the audio going, but I was running some tests on. Oh, there we go. But look at the res. This is the low res. So there is a little bit, there is a high res version, but depending on your connection speeds too. So it's okay. It's good. It's probably okay for most classes. But it's quick and easy. Here is something from, what class is this?
I think we're going to finish up. This won't be as long as my other lectures.
Oh, there you go. So there's my closed captioning. So student has that. Full screen, looks like I'm not getting high def. Should be. I think this is from Kauai, so this is from Concordia, sorry. I never renamed it. Oops. But you can see I got about tons and tons and tons of video in here. The other thing with Google is create channels. Organize your stuff. So label it. Once you upload it, uploading, let me go back to my, I've given you a bunch of links here on how to upload, how to set up your YouTube channel. So create your Google account. I'll just go through this real quickly. Create your Google account. This is where you have to make a decision though. Is it going to be a personal account? Is it going to be an account you create really for your class? Or are you going to use your institution's YouTube education account? Most of you probably have one. I run the one at Golden West, and it's a big one. We have tons and tons of videos up there. This is it right here. So we do all of our, sorry, we don't need to watch that. This is all our sports reports, all of the stuff that's done by our digital media department we put here. We don't allow individual instructors, though, to upload to it, because we do have to kind of control it. It depends on your institution, how they have it set up, how they're sharing it. But most institutions, K through 12, all the way up to the private schools, big universities, they all have, or they can get a YouTube ad account. It's an unlimited account. There's no restrictions usually on it. It's a YouTube education account. It usually has to go through your institution. Like we had to send them paperwork and stuff showing that we were actually a nonprofit school. But your school may already have it. Talk to your IT department, talk to your new media, your digital media. We all name everything differently around here. So like in our case, our promotions department, because I work actually as one of the designers on campus, we run it from our college promotions and marketing. We run it. Because our IT department didn't want anything to do with it. If you contact YouTube, do a Google search for YouTube Ed account, and you may have to contact them directly, but what they're probably going to do is go, okay, who are you and what are you doing on the campus? That's why I said you got to make a decision. In my case, I use my personal account for all my stuff. I don't care either way. But you may create a separate Google account just for your classroom stuff. So one of those two options are the easiest to get started. The third option is YouTube Ed account. That usually has to go through your institution, or they already have it. A lot of K through 12 already have it. I know a lot of you are not, but they already have those accounts set up. I don't know a lot of community colleges that do, to be really honest. We're one of the few that us and our sister school, Orange Coast College, we both have one. But I don't know, I haven't really seen a lot of other ones out there.
Is there an advantage?
Advantages in terms of your search engine and everything else, it all ties in with your campus. Your Google Plus accounts and all that tie in real nicely. So there's kind of a social media side of it. That's why I said a personal account, everything ties in with you online eventually. So with YouTube, I gotta watch the time here, I'm sorry. I'm bad, I can keep talking forever. So you have create your account, set up your channels, set up channels for your classes. That's what I do. So if I have my fall 2013 class, I have a specific channel for it, and I upload to it and tag it. And organize. That's the other thing I'm going to tell you right now is come up with a naming system for your titles. Do your descriptions. Be consistent. I don't want to get into keyword and all that other things, but you know, if you're talking about Dreamweaver CC and you're doing slicing in Photoshop, put that in the description. You want those keywords out there. They will help you down the road. Your stuff will be found beyond your classroom. And then also to the tags, tagging it with your institution. If you go in and you do a video on YouTube, like for us, I start typing in Golden West, it'll say Golden West College University. And so there's already preset tags for most of our schools out there in YouTube. Once you have that done, upload the videos, get them up there. If you're using the Hangouts, it's going to happen already. If you're using another piece of software, you're going to have to upload it. And I give you a little link here on how to do that as well. I also give you a whole playbook on metadata and how to tag and write your descriptions for your videos. And like I said, I know I'm spending a little bit of time on this. It will pay off in the long run. Now, if you just, like, I have one instructor uploads and it says week 1. It says title for stuff. I go, you should probably put like Dart G178, Introduction to Web Design, week 1, you know, or that type. He's like, no, that's all right. And then he just posts them on Blackboard. So he doesn't really care about the other side of it, and that's great. It works for him. But I go, you know, one day you're going to have to go back and rename all these. Wouldn't it just be easier to spend the 30 seconds and do it right now?
Well, I mean, I totally agree with the naming thing, but for a lot of people, they don't necessarily want their videos open to the public, so you can still just put them there and not have that.
Exactly. Still name them correctly because the student needs them, but in the settings you can say not to the public, you can only embed it. One of the reasons I like Vimeo, if you really are into the security part of it, you can lock it down to the URL or IP address of the website. So you can just say, no, it can only be shown on this Blackboard website. You cannot be shown anywhere else. YouTube doesn't really have that. They want you to have it in the open, sell ads, and that's the whole reason they're there. So there is, you can protect it once you're into here as well. Sorry, question? Yes. Those are done on Vimeo. That's just more of a personal preference on my end. Yeah, and that's getting into going, let's say I want to embed this Concordia one this week. Sorry, you don't want to hear me again. You're hearing me enough. The little share tab here, embed, and it embeds it as an iframe. That code goes in. Now also in Blackboard there is a button when you're creating to embed the video. All you need for that is the URL. And you put the URL in Blackboard and it embeds it for you as well. How many of you use WordPress? Or Flavor of? That's all I do now is all WordPress. WordPress is even easier. You just put in the URL, you're done. And you don't even have to do the embed codes with it. So the integration is there. Same thing with Vimeo. Both Vimeo and YouTube work the same way with the embedding. You get the embed code and put it over. And the key here is you're not hosting it on Blackboard, you're not killing your IT department, your new media people aren't screaming at you because you crashed the Blackboard server because you tried to upload 16 gig of stuff to their server. It's all here, and you're just streaming it for the student. And then they can get it through their other devices. They can find you through your iPhone, through the YouTube app. They can go on their Blu-ray player, their Xbox, their PlayStation, whatever it may be. They can get this information anywhere that it's out there. And it's set up for mobile, all that's already ready to go. So you don't have to, it's just a one-stop shop. Now Vimeo, I don't know how many of you, before I jump away from YouTube, here's all the information. And right here, this link, it's an overview of how to get started and create your channel. How to walk through, get your channel created, get everything up. It even talks about how to upload, what formats you want to upload into. Google's very good about that because they want you to do it right the first time because they're making a lot of money off you somewhere down the road.
Do you ever take your stuff down and then put it back up at a later time?
Personally, no, but you could. You can actually hide it if you want to. Just leave it up and hide it from the public and just kind of shut it off. I just leave everything up. I actually remove things eventually because they're just so old. But there's another side to that as well. I get traffic through a lot of that stuff. I don't want to lose that traffic, and I can't do redirects through YouTube and stuff, so I just leave things up. Now Vimeo, I pay personally for a Vimeo account out of my own money, but I also use it for a lot of things. Publicly, I got 97 videos. I think I have a 450 in Vimeo, though. There are things I don't show to the public. I used to do seminars, and it allowed me just to do, I could do paid ones where people pay through Vimeo for things. So there's more to it than just YouTube. The basic, get it out there, show people. You can set up stores with this. There's a whole back end. If you're really controlling video, Vimeo is great for that. And so, looks the same. It's pretty much just like YouTube. My descriptions are the same. I just copy and paste, put it in both places, upload to both. So, sorry, question back.
Just a quick point that kind of came from what you were talking about. Depending on where you're creating, and you were talking about how some of them automatically are uploading for you. So do you have your own backup copy of everything you've got out there someplace?
I have everything. Well, because I show you HD, and I do generate everything on the computer.
So that's why you're using HD, so you have most of your stuff, and then you host it yourself.
Yes.
You're using some of those other, what was the one that Google
the Google Hangouts.
That it automatically.
If you go into your YouTube video, if you go in, I'm not logged in, I don't think. But once you're logged in, you go into your settings, you could download sorry. You can actually download a version of it, like the MOV.
Right.
It'll be there in the corner.
Sort of your own copy.
Archive.
Copy and archive somewhere of all those videos that you have out
yes.
there. YouTube and
keep it all. You never know what's going to happen. Vimeo might go out of business one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if YouTube will, but you never know. Or know what Google does.
It gets corrupted and damaged and lost and
They get rid of services.
yeah.
They'll kill a service and not tell you, and you had everything at that service. And now you're like, well, what happened to all my stuff? The other thing and this kind of leads into the Google Drive. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit on this. Well, actually, let me talk about the 3C Media Solutions. You can go in and get your own account now. You can upload, and they will host for you. And they have a service that will host through YouTube, too, if I'm not mistaken. The stuff that you have on YouTube can be pushed through here as well. And this is the California Community Colleges. Go in there. There's a lot of information here. You might be able to answer this for me. If the institution already has an account, or is it's individual now? Okay, it is.
All individual.
So it's all individual, and this is through the state. Works the same way as the YouTube and Vimeo. They will host it for you. And other instructors may find it as well here. I mean, that's part of all this is being collaborative. So it's a great solution. We're already paying for it. Your school's already involved in it. So this is something that's available to you as well. I'm going to probably do it where I put everything in YouTube and push it through. So that's an option as well. Question?
Returning to the video captioning software, do you have a recommendation for how to simulate things in the whiteboard?
I've never done that.
Real time when you're talking and you're drawing a picture.
Does Blackboard do that? Yeah, Blackboard does it, and then you can capture what's on screen while doing it in Blackboard. Yeah, but which is the software I was showing you right now, the actual Blackboard software. I've never really, personally, I've never done it. So offhand, I don't know the answer to it. But I know you can do it here. I've just never done it. And it has a whiteboard system that's group chat and things. Then you can always record it.
And I noticed you record your entire, say, 2-hour lecture. Do you have an opinion on that versus the 15-minute chunks? Or?
3 to 5 minutes is what I'm going to tell you right now. Try to keep it under 5 minutes. I do the entire lecture because these are geared towards my class. If I would go back, let me just show you our. Yes.
I do know that there's things like AirSketch apps and whatnot that allow you to take over whiteboard sketching onto, you can basically take over a PC or take over a Mac, goes up onto it, and it's just, you're sketching, doing whatever on the Mac, and you could do that as a video cast. What's that called? AirSketch.
AirSketch. So AirSketch is piece software. 4 minutes. Okay, I got 4 minutes here. Real quick, this is a site that I did on a grant for K through 12. I did an entire series on WordPress for elementary school and high school teachers, how to set it up. It basically goes through everything you need to know to get your site up and running. I broke it up into like 5-minute pieces because it was just too much to sit there for 5 hours straight. So if I'm going to be building curriculum specifically, I try to keep it 3 to 5 minutes, or even less if I can, because most people don't have the attention span. What I'm really suggesting, though, to get started is record what you're doing in the classroom as an asset for that student who's already there. For a lot of students, they don't care. If they're coming from the outside, they go, well, why am I going to watch a 2-hour lecture? But for the student who was sitting in your classroom and had trouble, they can always go back and they already heard it once. They just kind of keep doing it over and over again. So I like the short ones personally, but for me, it's just easier to do one big one, and it's less time on it.
Do you have this on YouTube or
this one's all YouTube, yeah, and I can throw that in there. Actually, what I'll do is I don't have that link in here on my site. I'll throw that link up for that as well. Let me back up here. One last thing I wanted to talk about. So take a look at the 3C Media solutions. It will also help you with your closed captioning down the road. And if you've already done YouTube, you can push it through YouTube, and they can help with the closed caption as well. Google Drive. Didn't give me the short one. I gotta fix that link. I love Google Drive. It's all I use. I'm glad I'm in Blackboard Learn. Dropbox, I use it all the time for my clients.
We're going to kind of go back and try to get the menu stuff fixed. I'm going to explain what happened on that and the big difference between CC and CS6. And what?
Sorry. I want to show this to you before I run out of time. Yes. Yes. I'm 100% WordPress. Almost all my clients, everyone, I just go, let's just do it in WordPress, please. It'll make my life easier. I still develop with Dreamweaver and code and everything else, but if you came to me right now and said, build me a website for my class, I'd just say, all right, let's do WordPress. Here we go. What I do is I create Google Drive. How many of you use Google Drive? I love my Google Drive. For $5 a month, you get 100 gig of storage. And that's, it's about on par with Dropbox. My problem with Dropbox is it's great for company type environment. I use it all day long with all my clients. We share and do everything. What I like about Google Drive is I can go in, share it out. Every one of my classes, this is what the student sees from Blackboard. I have a link on there that says go to your Google Drive. It's a shared drive. And all my class files are here, all zipped up. So every week what I do, and this is just the nature of how I teach, if you miss week 2, you can come back to week 3 in my class and pick up exactly where I left off. Or if you got lost in week 2, I tell my students, don't worry about it. Pick up next week with my files and just work along with me. We can always go back. You got the videos. Everything's here. All your files are here. And all my videos are here too. What's nice about Google Drive is it treats them just like YouTube videos. You can either download the original or watch them directly in screen. So I upload these to Google Drive the moment I'm done with them. It renders it out. The student has it when they get home. They can download it off Google Drive, or they can watch it as well. So I've given them like 4 different places to go. That's why I tell my students you have absolutely no excuse. You can go to my website, go to Blackboard, go to YouTube, go to Vimeo, go to your Google Drive. It's all the same data. It's all in the same places. To kind of answer too about keeping archives, someone asked about the archives. It's all here as well. And just like Dropbox, on your local computer, it keeps a copy. So on all my computers, I have the exact same data on all my computers. If I want to upload a video, I just drag it to the folder on my computer. It uploads it to Google Drive. So that's how I handle it in the classroom as well. All right, time's up. Just looking one last, if there's anything else here. Editing software, I didn't want to get into editing, but I gave you a whole list of stuff here. You can edit online. Microsoft Movie Maker, really. But we're going to talk about that. iMovie if you're on the Mac, if you really want to get fancy, Final Cut as well. Adobe Premiere is out there. WeVideo and is it Megista or whatever it says, there are online free ones as well. So you can do some video editing online. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to edit to start with. Get the content up. Do it. Then as you evolve, you go, I want to put a little opening on it. Create the opening, add it to the videos. But get the data out there for the students. And last thing, I'm not going to go through all those. I'm just going to recap kind of my 4 things here, which is create, edit if you have to, upload, and distribute. Share it to your Facebook, share it to your Twitter, share it to all the places out there. I just hammer everyone with the information. Because at the end of the week, then I don't have to worry about it. I know everyone got everything. And we can just start again the next week. So I kind of get in that grouping. So I'm sorry we couldn't do a lot of hands-on here just from time, and plus software too. You know, we're all a little different in all these classrooms. But hopefully everything's there that you need to get started. If you have questions, please email me, talk to me. I'm more than happy to help everyone. I can point you in the right direction. And or talk to me after here too. So, that's all done.
Thank you.